Hi, I'm Chef Bannerland and welcome back to another show of Cooking with Cook. What I thought we'd do today is something that's really close to my heart. It's what I like to make for a nice cosy night in with some warm comfort food. What I've got for you is a killer recipe for a vegetarian shepherd's pie, or should I say shepherd-less pie. The traditional shepherd's pie is a great British classic that's also popular in Australia and other parts of the world. Essentially, it's a meat pie with a crust of mashed potatoes, but instead of meat, we're going to use wheat gluten, also known by its macrobiotic name, seitan. Seitan is a great source of protein. It contains more protein and less fat than soybean-based meat substitutes like tofu. So, let's get started, shall we? First things first, in a medium bowl, whisk together 1.5 cups of low-sodium vegetable broth, 1/3 cup of dry red wine, a tablespoon of tomato paste, and finally a tablespoon of all-purpose flour. And set this aside. Next, we cook the seitan. Now you can get seitan in most grocery stores. I have a Fairway Market right next to my apartment here in Manhattan, so I'm lucky enough to be able to nick down there twice a week with my reusable grocery bags and pick up a bunch of different stuff. And by the way, I really do try to encourage everyone to bring reusable bags when doing groceries. The problem with plastic bags is they don't biodegrade. They just break down to smaller and smaller toxic bits that contaminate soil and waterways. Just here in the US, we go through about 100 billion plastic bags a year, and recycling them is really expensive and economically unsustainable. So remember, every plastic bag that you don't use will make a difference. So now, back to the seitan preparation. Melt 1 tablespoon of butter in a large saucepan over medium heat. When it starts to foam, add 2 pounds of seitan cut into small dice. And that's what you want to hear. You want to hear that sizzle. Cook this, stirring occasionally until the seitan is brown, about 5 minutes. Remove the seitan from the pan, transfer it back to the bowl, season well with salt and black pepper, and set aside. Return the pan to the stove over medium heat and heat another tablespoon of butter. Add 1 small yellow onion, finely chopped, 3 medium celery stalks, finely chopped, and 5 cloves of garlic, finely chopped. And cook until the onions are golden brown and soft, about 2 minutes. Then add 3 medium carrots, peeled and cut into small dice, 1 tablespoon of finely chopped sage leaves, 1 tablespoon of finely chopped thyme leaves, 2 medium parsnips peeled and cut into small dice, season well with salt and black pepper, and cook until they're nice and soft, about 6 minutes. When you're cooking at home, it's really easy to sort of find yourself getting into a fluster, so it's really important to keep your countertops and utensils clean as you go. As Mum always used to say, a clean kitchen is a clear mind. Next, we add the wine mixture to the pan, and deglaze by stirring and scraping up any brown bits from the bottom and the sides. Let this simmer until it's slightly thickened, about 3 minutes. Then stir in the seitan and simmer for another 8 minutes. Transfer the seitan and vegetable mixture into a large Pyrex dish and set aside. Then take 3 pounds of potatoes, peeled and cut into small dice, and put them in a pot. Then cover them with salted water by 2 inches. Bring to a boil and cook until they're nice and soft, about 20 minutes. You want to cook them till they're just done. To test them, take one out, squash it with the back of a fork and make sure it's tender. You don't want to cook the potatoes for too long because then they'll absorb too much water and your mash won't taste very good. So when the potatoes are done, drain them well and mash them until they're uniformly smooth. Fold in 2 tablespoons of butter, 2/3 of a cup of whole milk, 2 egg yolks, season well with salt and black pepper, and add some freshly grated parmesan cheese. This is what makes it really nice and golden brown. Drop the potatoes over the vegetable mixture and spread the potatoes to the edges of the dish to cover the seitan and vegetables completely. Rough up the surface of the potatoes like this, so there are bits that'll get browned and crunchy, which is actually my favourite part. Now just grate some more parmesan cheese on top. Set the oven on broil, place the pie in the upper third rack and bake for about 15 to 20 minutes until the top is golden brown. There it is, piping hot and beautiful. Let's get in there, shall we? Beautiful. Unbelievable. Actually, I grew up eating beef and a lot of lamb, which is a real Aussie thing to eat. So going against the stereotype of Australian cuisine, which usually has a lot of meat, here's a vegetarian version of a classic dish for all you vegetarians out there. It's just as good and just as delicious. Hope you enjoy it. See you later.